unfortunately. But I dragged Angie, which is usually a sentence that when you start a
Happens
sentence like that,
often.
it happens often, and she does not appreciate it. But
At least you don't do it like a Viking and drag her by her hair. Like, come here, woman.
that's why she cut her hair. I
I know the trick
dragged.
now. Yeah, that's what it was.
Hey, brother.
What is going on?
Doing good, doing good. So, guys, a little change of pace here, briefly, because we, in the wrestling community, we had some terrifying news from last week. Um, a very young wrestler, Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda was this,
Wyndham Rotunda's is
and 36 years of age. Unfortunately, he has passed away. We also have some more news for you. We just want to talk about him and kind of out of respect, change the pace for our listeners. You don't have that, that intro that we usually have, that upbeat that we usually have, because this kind of affects us um, pretty deeply. Obviously from the videos that you've seen from us in the past of how we love wrestling, we love good wrestling, good characters, creativity, and I would say 100% Bray Wyatt was the epitome of creativity. Um, some
100%.
would say, yeah, some would say a little much, but you got to bite your tongue now because now we don't have any of them. And to see him run a 10-15 minute segment of talking in that ring one more time, I would give anything for that now, unfortunately. But 36 years of age, we have lost Bray Wyatt. Tell me your thoughts on this, my man. How are you feeling, dude?
I tell you, like my initial thought, I was I was kind of like blown away.
Mm.
Um, I thought it was fake for the longest. I was like,
Me
this can't
too.
be.
I
Like,
remember
this can't be.
it's a hack. I was like, it better be a damn hack. The
Yeah,
hell?
like I think I was eating dinner, and my
Mhm.
brother was like, "Yo, uh, I think Bray Wyatt died," and I was like, "No freaking way!" Like, I said, Bray Wyatt can't. He couldn't have passed. Like, he's young,
Yeah. All
and
right.
yeah, like he's a few years older than me, and than both of us. And I was like, "No, there's no way." And my brother's like, I don't know," and Triple H had posted it on his Twitter, and
Right.
then when he posted it, that we thought it was like someone hacked his account and was just playing a sick prank. And then more wrestlers started dropping him out, and it was definitely a I was hurt because we just mentioned him on the last show. If you guys watched our last episode,
Yes. This is
we
it.
we were
Literally.
literally just wishing him goodwill, good luck, and good health, and coming back and finish the story that he started.
Right.
Um, this is it's unfair, to say the least. Um, it's I just there's no words for it. I didn't know the man personally, but
Mm.
his story, I was a huge fan when he came out with the Wyatt family, and when he went from Husky Harris to Bray
Yes.
Wyatt.
Right.
uh I definitely was a huge fan of it. Obviously now we're losing half of this Wyatt family with Brody Lee passing the year prior. And
I saw that on last week's SmackDown. Actually, it's like Brody Lee passing. Now you have Bray Wyatt passing. You just see Eric Rowan and Braun
Braun.
Strowman standing there, and I'm like, yo, it's just hit after hit. You're losing your friends. These are
Yeah.
not just coworkers; these are your friends.
These are your road dogs, like literally, like you drive on the road with
Yeah,
them. You set the ring up with them. You train with them.
yeah. They're
Video
God,
games.
they're godfather of your children. I think Braun Strowman is godfather of one of Bray Wyatt's children.
Yeah, Braun is the godfather of Bray's. oldest son, and then or his second oldest because he has a kid from his first marriage,
Mhm.
and Bray was the godfather of Evil Uno, from TNA, Brody's son,
Yeah.
and I think Brody was also godfather to Rowan's kid, but I could be wrong on that one. But
Right.
that circle is like literally like really tight. They're
The
like
four,
legit
yeah,
friends.
the four of them were real tight, man. I remember a couple memories of Bray, and it's just like his ever since he was like Husky Harris back in NXT. Like
Yeah,
he always had
and his
like this,
Nexus.
yeah, and the Nexus, like he always had like a weird feeling of him. Like he was a big dude, but he could move very quickly. Like
Yeah.
his move set was so awesome. It kind of reminded me of like a Bam Bam Bigelow, but
Oh,
quicker,
that's 100%,
or
100% what he
like
felt like.
along the lines of like a Bill DeMott. I'm really strong, I'm really big, but I'm very quick, and I could do like moonsaults and shit. Like
Yeah,
like
his size almost
easily did
didn't
a moonsault,
matter.
and I never saw him do one.
Yeah, but it's funny because Bam Bam did moonsaults and Bam Bam
Mhm.
did these high flying moves, and I would see Bray, and Bray as at his size, um, even though he had lost a lot of weight from where he started to where he is now,
Right.
or where he was before he passed. He
Yeah.
was obviously a lot lighter, but he was still like so agile. Even when he would do that like upside
Yes.
down spider thing, like
Yeah.
I can't do that,
And
and
walk.
I'm like 100 pounds lighter than him.
Yeah. And then walk on all fours upside down like that. I wish I had put up a picture. I didn't. But
Yeah,
but like the man was so talented, and
his promo skills were beautiful too.
yes, he could get in your head, man. And I think his creativity really blossomed when they gave him the okay to do like the Wyatt family and the Bray Wyatt character,
The
and
Wyatt
just like
compound,
the
and
Wyatt compound, all the work that he did with Randy Orton, and it's just beautiful to see. And then I have a picture here of his little snippet of his last match. I think this was the blackout match, right?
the blackout match. Yeah, this is his last actual in ring match he had. No, 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 no.
No,
Yeah,
I think it's the last televised one. Unless
no.
it
Well,
was
it
the
was
last
his last
one.
pay per view, but
Okay,
he did like 3 more matches, I want to say, because then
right,
he had called out Bobby Lashley
right.
for Mania, and then he got sick again,
Yes.
and he couldn't be there for Mania. Everyone said, "Oh, he stormed out. He was sick."
Yeah. And, and that's the thing. Like you can't really. I hate it when people speculate and create all these rumors and stuff in the background of like what is and what isn't true. You don't really know what's going on in these people's lives, and everyone is in your life.
Yeah,
Because if they see you leave and it's like during a pay per view or during a show, someone will be like, "Oh, he stormed out. Oh, he was mad. Oh, there was some background, backstage fights and this and that and the other." It's like I really would appreciate it if people just shut their mouth until they learn what's going on, because this man unfortunately had COVID, it seems,
yeah,
and it had agitated an underlying heart condition. The man died. I was reading up some news here. I'm not a fan of TMZ.
yeah. I can normally
I
care less of the.
Yeah, they could kick rocks. Fuck all of them over in TMZ. But yeah, especially after how they handled the Kobe Bryant story.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No,
Definitely, they
that
can.
was it for me. I'm not one for talking shit into people's life, and they do a lot of spectating and rumor mill and this and that. But they had posted some information that, and my hatred for TMZ, take it with a grain of salt. But they said that he had a doctor recommended heart um,
Uh,
defibrillator that he was supposed to wear, and apparently he had taken a nap with it off, and he caught a heart attack while he was sleeping.
And I'm sure that defib is probably uncomfortable, so he probably figured like, man, I haven't had an episode in a few weeks. Let me just let it sit off for a second, like give my chest a
Especially
break.
right, especially with us hearing from from the outside looking in, it was like, oh, he's showing progress.
Yeah.
So he's like, cool, I'm good. Unfortunately, there's small things like decisions like that could eat you, unfortunately, and
Yeah.
it's really sad that he died so young, 36 years old. It scares the living shit out of me because I got some stuff going on in the background, and my wife looks at that and she's like, well, you're 32, so you better get on the ball. And I'm like, well, I guess it's more doctor visits for me because there's anything could take you out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, death doesn't care what you're doing. And it doesn't care how nice you are. It doesn't care how bad you are. It doesn't care how many people you touch. Um, it'll take you out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
And this is the scariest thing, because then I heard a lot of people. This is where I don't care for like a lot of the rumor stuff. I do read
yeah,
into it because sometimes I have to read it for podcast reasons. Sometimes I want to see if there's other things maybe I'm missing.
right.
But I really for most cases I don't really like to read for it, and like for this I didn't. It was one of those stories I didn't want to read more into it because I felt like it was just gonna anger me.
Yes.
And unfortunately I didn't, and it did exactly what
And
I
it
thought it
angered
would. Yeah.
you. Yeah.
But people jumped immediately like, oh, COVID's fake, right? And I'm like, how are you still sitting there and saying that COVID is fake? Like,
Yeah.
I don't agree with a lot of things that happened with COVID. There is a
Mhm.
lot of stuff, and we've talked about it off camera of my
Right.
feelings of COVID and the vaccines and all that. But I took COVID very seriously because nonetheless, it's a sickness. I have
Yeah.
had it once. My household, my wife has had it. Think twice now.
Wow.
And both cases for us, they weren't to the extreme. We got it. We felt sick. We got over it. For
Yeah.
whatever the reasons or cases, our bodies fought it well. But for other people's, you know, it took a bigger toll on their bodies. And for his case, he had a heart condition that probably he didn't even know he had.
Right.
And
That's
now
exactly
it
it.
brought it out.
Right.
And
And
I
that's
just
the thing about COVID is that it keeps evolving and
yeah.
mutating in itself, but the long-term effects of what it can and cannot do are insanely scary. Like, I've had COVID twice. Let me tell you how now, this is a year ago to date. Actually, no, a year ago, like June, right?
Okay.
So that I had it last. So
Was it?
June
Oh
of,
yeah, yeah. Because you got it around the same time I had got it last year. You got it like
right.
the week after.
And that was my second time because I think I had caught it in like May, like March or May. And
Something like yeah,
that was the first time. And that licked me up, man. I was like, what the hell? That had me down. The second time around, it wasn't as bad, but I had breathing issues. Tell me to this day, more than a year later, I still have breathing difficulty.
hmm.
I'm not fat. I'm not out of shape. I try to eat clean as much as I can. I'm a Chinese food connoisseur, and I know it's bad for me, and there's a reason you saw me in action.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen you in action many of times.
but for it to affect things that, or even kickstart things in your health that are just not supposed to happen here. It doesn't matter if you're young, old, this, that. They're still doing research on this thing. And
Yeah,
I've had
and
all my boosters, and I've had all my immunization shots when it comes to it. Have I caught it in the last year and a half? No, thank you. But thank God. But it still lingers upon me from when I did. So I
yeah,
can only
and
imagine how bad it would have been if I didn't take those shots.
yeah, and I'm sure. I think he was also vaccinated, if I'm correct, because of what he was with WWE during the time where they were like mandating it, and I think he was
Yes.
one of the few that did get it. Whether he got his boosters from that, again,
Right,
he's a
right,
very
yeah.
private man, so there was a lot of stuff that we
Right,
still don't know.
right.
But neither here nor there at this point. He's had it, and I think it's something that people need to just kind of be on the quiet, because unfortunately this one was proven that it was COVID that affected and irritated his heart issues, and it only escalated the next step. So
Right.
it's sad to see. I think as an artist, as a wrestler, it's sad because we lose one of the best creative minds in the world.
Yeah.
And not even just that, just a human being that is of the kindest soul.
Right.
I saw a video. Obviously all these videos are starting to emerge from on social
Hmm.
media and stuff like that, and I saw a video where it looks like it was pre-show or it was post, like a live event,
Right.
and a kid that wanted to, I guess, meet him when he was coming in through
Hmm.
through where they park and stuff.
Right.
He didn't get a chance, but he talked to the kid really quick and remembered his name. And he said, "Listen, after the show, stay right there. Come like back here and wait for me." Sure enough, he's walking out. The kid was waiting for him, and they videotape. He walks up to the kid, talks to him, hugs him,
Hmm.
shook everybody's hands. Like, what other wrestler? He was a heel, I think, at this time, or either he was heel or he was just coming back as this character that he just this last character that he did.
Okay.
Um, and so he was kind of in that weird, like, I'm heel but I'm face, you know, and he kayfabed it for this fan because he was a huge Bray Wyatt fan. Like,
Uh,
this is humongous to see, bro. Like, you don't see a
yeah.
lot of wrestlers do that.
You don't see them do that at all.
I've met a few wrestlers in my day, and a lot of them were great, and
Yeah.
you got a few of them that were, you know, either abrasive because you don't know what fans may do, and I get it,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. People
you know,
could be crazy.
yeah, but at the same time, they were still kind of like arms distance. This man was open arms. Come here, let me hug you.
Mm.
And I was just like, his character, I don't know, everything about him captivated me into his story. He was, majority of the time the bad guy, and I found myself somewhat rooting for him.
Right.
And you know me, I've always been a guy of the face. I was that
Oh.
that Hulk
I'm
Hogan,
surprised.
John
Yeah,
Cena.
I was surprised you're not decked out in John Cena all the time, looking like a
Actually, I
ninja.
don't own anything John Cena. Actually, I think the only thing John Cena I have was my brother's, and it's the wristbands that says you can't see me. But outside of that, man, I've always been a face guy, but this his character was just so, like, it felt so real. It felt so deep. Everything was
Yeah,
so deep into the psychology. It made you think a lot more than you probably would on a normal promo. Like, it
and
wasn't like a Rock sitting there saying, I'm gonna beat that poutang out of you." Like, it was sitting there like saying, like, legit meaning behind his words.
yeah,
He wasn't trying to get like little jokes, little cheap pops.
no, it was all the psychology of things. It was always the emotion. He really knew how to build a story and how to build a character. The thing is that the number one ingredient was patience.
Mm-hmm.
That was what some people nowadays, because they have a short attention span, because social media, everything has to be quick, 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 quick.
Now.
And then they bitch about it and be like, "Oh, we want long term booking." You can't handle long term booking in a society like we live in now. Look at people. People are saying that the bloodline is stale. I'm like, how can you say that?
Every time that story turns to something better. I don't know how the heck you can even think
Exactly.
about that.
So I used to love when, especially when Bray Wyatt came back, and I was like, great, I want to see who he comes back as, and like, because I know he didn't want to do the Fiend right out the bat, because there was
Yeah,
some spoiled eggs there, because background and creative differences and whatnot. But he had so much more to bring to it, and to think that he had his like Firefly Funhouse characters coming to life
yeah,
in a run, and he was brainwashed Uncle Howdy's coming, who's supposed to be Bo Dallas, his real life brother,
yeah.
and to see that creativity and to see how things are panning out, and to like understand like where his mind is going, like the emotion plus patience and the psychological meaning behind every segment would have came to a really good outcome, because I think
I think
before
so.
he had gotten sick, they were really going to ramp up on it, because even Gorilla was saying, okay, we need to put some put the foot on the gas here a little bit.
Yeah, they
You
were,
all
and I
for it.
think they were ramping it up because think about it. His first beef was LA Knight. His
Right,
next beef was going to be Bobby Lashley.
right.
So imagine what you gave him, two names that were good, that are already pretty decent sized names,
Yeah,
and it was like LA Knight, who was a name that was building, and then you
yes.
had Bobby Lashley, another name that's already up
Let's
there, who's
go.
been a former champion,
Yeah.
two-time former champion now. So you're like, okay, you're gonna ramp him up because if
Mm.
once he got through Bobby, he was gonna go for a potential who he could have been the world heavyweight champion instead of
Yeah.
Seth. Who
Bloodline versus
knows?
the Wyatt Six.
That would have
I
been.
would have loved to see that.
I would
That
have
would
loved to see the mind
really,
games that Bray would have had instilled for Roman.
yeah, that would have been
So
deadly. That would have been deadly. You got the
I,
Wyatt Six visiting the island of relevancy.
oh man, nothing says bigger.
Yeah,
And I think he knew that. I think the long term booking of his
yes,
and just the way he did things in his mind, he wasn't thinking about the step that was happening. He was thinking about the next step ahead of it because he was while we were still sitting there watching what he was gonna do. He was ready on to plan C and D.
yeah. What
He
we
was
were
3-4
watching,
steps
we were
ahead.
long ahead of time. You know, it's beautiful to see people who are that passionate, and it's sad to see that someone again so young but so talented in so many different avenues is gone.
Yeah.
My condolences to his family. I do not know any of them. I don't know his children, but I know him in a sense of how he's affected me through the TV, through his promos, through his creativity and entertainment. And for me, that's enough. If I was ever blessed to meet him, that would have been great. But I was able to see him live a few times, and I was able to see
Yeah.
him live when he came back. I think we went to a Raw. It was either a Raw or a SmackDown. I took my wife to a her first wrestling event, and she loved it. And then when he came out, she was like, "Who is this?" And I was like, "Just pull out your phone and put on your
Yep.
light." And she was like, "Wow!" Like I was like, "People love this man,"
Yeah.
and it was just amazing to see.
He was something special to see live. I know I've seen him live a few times because
Yeah,
not when he was NXT, but when he came to the main roster, I did see him a few times with the Wyatt family.
yeah,
And it was a spectacle. You don't see something like someone like that. Like
yeah.
I think closest to that would have been like the Undertaker, like that
Mm-hmm.
presence. Like the
And
light goes off and
there was a bit of a handoff there
yeah.
between the Undertaker. He was supposed to be like kind of like being primed to be the next Undertaker because Undertaker ain't having it no more. He's like, I'm not
Yeah,
getting
he's
crazy.
done.
So there was that mentorship that was being handed off between him and Bray Wyatt and trying to like pick Undertaker's brain for him to be the next. Oh, I'm facing him. This is gonna kickstart my career or
Yep.
kickstart my push. It didn't matter if you suck.
Kickstart a meme that says, "Oh, you're gonna go 1-on-1 with Bray Wyatt, player."
I'll tell you. But it's like things like that is just like priming Bray Wyatt to be that next. Like you got to beat him to be the better man, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That
And
is
I
awesome.
definitely think a lot of wrestlers had that respect already with him, that if you got through him, you were kind of in that road of being a man because he was already a two-time world champion. He held the
Yeah.
Universal and the WWE.
Right.
He was, I believe he was a tag champion
Yeah, with Matt Hardy.
with Matt Hardy. Um, I know he didn't hold the other two secondary titles, but just those accolades alone, though,
Yeah.
you know, beat the dead man.
Mhm.
He did. It's funny. Remember that storyline he did with Undertaker where he said, I have your power there, dead man," and he goes like this, like he raises his hands in the sky, and then all of a sudden, the thunderbolt happens, and I was like, oh my god, like it felt like old 90s wrestling.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of cheesy, but it's cool to see. And imagine seeing that live.
Yeah, bro. Like just
WWE
to
is
hear the
next level.
boom.
Yeah, WWE is next level to the point that they could make thunder and lightning inside.
Yo, so just a side story because
Mm,
I've gone to WWE events for years. I've been going to WWE events probably since I was like 5,
okay, same,
and I saw Undertaker at Madison Square Garden
same,
a few times.
right?
And I remember around the time, I, I'd be lying to you if I gave you the correct year, but
Uh,
he was dead man. He had the old rubber
uh,
Undertaker gloves,
gray gloves or the purple
those
gloves.
gray and purple gloves he used to use.
Yeah.
So I was there on the episode, I think it was Raw or In Your House, whatever they were calling it at the time.
Hmm.
And they did the Thunderbolt in the stadium,
Yeah.
and they hit the screen and you see Undertaker moving like this, like it was like a just his silhouette
When
and
he's in the
him like
coffin.
this. Yes. So I was there for that, and you just see and when I saw him wake up, and I was like, oh my god, I thought that was legit real. I thought
Yeah.
Thunderbolt hit where he was sitting
Wait a
and
minute.
woke him up. And because it just feels so real, the light work, the sound effects. I mean,
Yes.
everything about it. It's like you're living a
The
movie
acting, the
when you're going.
pageantry, everything was there. It's like, whoa, this is
You know,
awesome.
and imagine that with Bray Wyatt's characters, all of those characters that he did, the
Yes.
Firefly Funhouse, the Wyatt compound with the
Yeah.
Wyatt family, um, what he was looking for with the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
This was all on a huge push to do the exact same thing that other kids were gonna sit there and watch this and probably do a podcast like we are now and sit
Yeah.
there and say, man, like I was there when this happened.
Exactly. And really, show their appreciation for good entertainment.
Yeah.
And yeah, you think about things like that, and you're like, wow, life is super short because you don't know when you're gonna go. So you have to kind of not, I wouldn't say live it to the fullest and do dangerous bullshit, but live it to what you deem as happiness.
Yeah.
And you could tell that he did.
Yeah.
He's very much involved with his family. He's very much involved with his creativity when it came to WWE. And I remember there was a second there where AEW was going to scoop him up, and they were trying to get hold on him, and I was like, hell yeah! But
I'm kind of glad he
yeah,
never
I
went
was
that
gonna say
route.
I'm kind of glad he didn't because I don't think AEW could pull off this shit for him and what he wanted to do. WWE is the place.
Yeah, I definitely think like Brody Lee going over there was good because they gave him the superstar push that he probably should have gotten with WWE,
Yeah,
because I know WWE only gave him an IC title once,
yeah,
and he was a multiple time tag champion with
yes,
Rowan.
yeah.
Um,
They
but
like to take the guys who are like kind of pushing 40 or in their 40s and be like, "You're old. Do some background work or some shit."
yeah,
And that's what LA Knight right now is fighting. He's like, it doesn't matter if you're over 40. I'm here now. Don't look at me and how I'm going to be, where I'm going to be 10 years from now. I'm here now. Use me now.
yeah, and
And
it's
that's
and I think
what
Bray
Bray
Wyatt was
Wyatt,
in that same.
yeah, that's what Brody Lee was doing. He was just like, as soon as he went to AEW, they were like, well, he's here now. Like, do something with him. The with the group that he was in, and I can't remember the name of the group that he was
Because I've said Wyatt Six so many times it threw me
in.
off.
Yeah, I was just talking about
Uh,
it at the same time. the I
but
can't
yeah,
remember. Anyway, he was the
I'm
exalted one of that group, whatever the name of the damn group was. But it was refreshing to see him go and actually show what he could do as a leader
yep.
instead of a background character or supporting character. But either way, um, I would say our condolences to the family and to his friends. And we
Yeah.
are going to switch gears in just a few moments, but I wanted to do a little something special for him. Put up his picture here. Just a bit of silence. Uh,
All right, guys, we will be taking a quick small break from the episode, keep some lights going on, because we got some great news for you guys.
Ooh,
Isn't this great
what
news,
do you got?
Robbie? This is
It's
amazing news.
fantastic news. I like
This
it.
is
I
I've been
love
dying
it.
to say this to you guys. I'm so happy to announce your boys here at The Rated F has partnered with a great brand. I'm actually wearing it right now. It is
Ooh,
called Lift Life. If
yes.
you don't know what they are, get to know them really comfortable, guys. We want to introduce you a lot of their new product. It Lift Life is for anyone wanting to be more active and want to feel comfortable while they're doing it. So if you're like me, I love to work out. Robbie, I know loves to work out. We both are pretty much gym rats.
Yes, I
This
do.
definitely gives a good feel. I'm wearing one of their workout shirts. Even though I'm kind of wearing it more casually today, but it is super comfortable, kind of fitted on. So I definitely love how I even love the fit that I got going on here.
No.
They carry Lift Life. It has everything from t-shirts to work out in, to just regular hoodies to go and hang out, and for girlfriends, for you guys to go steal it, the boyfriend's hoodies.
I've seen that once or twice, definitely. And they have apparel for men. They have apparel for women's. I've seen some. My favorite are the combat backpacks. I
Oh
love a nice
yeah.
backpack. I don't know why. I have 100 of them. It
Yeah,
looks
me
like
too.
a
My
backpack
wife
for
found a
myself.
bunch of them, fell out.
Yeah. I'm actually I was waiting on you to do some ordering on stuff, but it's really cool. Here's how you guys can join the craze along with the Rated F family. So simply go to the liftlifeapparel.com, and then you're going to use our promo code, which is all caps, the Rated F. That's THERATEDF. And you're going to get a discount for 10% off when you use our promo code.
Because we love you guys. We're giving you that discount.
Yes, definitely, definitely, definitely. We've been working hard in the background to get you some things, and here you go, 10% off at Live Life. So again, that is a livelifeapparel.com and promo code the rated F. Go ahead and get your swag, and you can join the craze with us. Now, let's get back to the show. All right, my
Back
man.
at it.
A bit of change of pace there at the beginning, but let's get into our main topic. Is something that I was gonna leave for 2 weeks from now because we kind of alternate
Yeah.
topics. But I was like, you know what? Let me just cram as much as I can. I didn't want to be a weeping willow for 45 minutes, unfortunately. But I dragged Angie, which is usually a sentence that when you start a
Happens
sentence like that,
often.
it happens often, and she does not appreciate it. But
At least
I
you don't do it like a Viking and drag her by her hair. Like, come here, woman.
that's why she cut her hair. So, I
I know the trick
dragged,
now. Yeah, that's what it was.
I dragged Angie to the kickstart of what is to become a marathon of horror movies, and I started off. I was gonna start off with another one, which was the vampire movie, the Dracula movie, which is
Oh,
the
the
last
Voyage
word
of
of the
Demeter.
United. Yeah, but I heard it sucked, unfortunately. And
Really?
yeah, it didn't do good at all. I'm not sure if it didn't do good because Oppenheimer was out, Blue Beetle was out, this was out, um,
Barbie was out because I
Barbie
heard that
was
did
out. So
really.
I think it just kind of fell at the wayside, unfortunately. So what I'm hearing is that it sucked, but it could have been just it did sucky numbers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait to watch it because I think it's on Prime and I could like rent it or whatever.
Yeah,
So
because Prime has been doing that lately. So
right, like after a few weeks they'll throw it on, or if it doesn't do too well after like 1 week they'll throw it on. So we started off with this.
God, of course you would go see that first.
I heard so much about it, and I've seen for our listeners. I'm talking about the movie Talk to Me. Great movie, I
That's
should
not
say.
a sentence. That's actually the name of the movie.
Yes, it is. Talk to Me, my boys and girls. Fantastic movie. Director, there's two directors on it. It's Danny and Michael Philippou. Sorry if I demolished your name because it is foreign and I'm not good at linguistics. So yeah, the Philippines there. Two directors on hand. It's always good when I see like you have like a Russo brothers where they can kind of ping off each other's ideas,
Yeah.
create something really good, and that's exactly what they did. They did a phenomenal job. Let me just go put up this here. Boom.
God, I saw that scene on the cuts. I haven't seen the movie yet, but the cuts were spooky enough.
Make sure you sleep at night.
Oh
Sleep tight.
God.
She had nightmares. My wife had nightmares. She's a trooper. They ain't over yet. But
I'm shocked she doesn't have more nightmares sleeping with you. Honestly, not
uh,
even trying to be rude. It's just the shit you watch.
yeah, I dive into some medieval shit sometimes, but it's good and it's not over. and I have some news on top of that too. So let's see. So the main cast, I'm just gonna name off a few of them, just about 2 or 3 of them. So we have Sophie Wilde. She plays Maya. We have Zoe Terakis or Terakes. She plays a girl named Haley. And then we have another lady who plays Sue, who's Miranda Otto. If you don't remember that name, remember Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
Okay.
The King of Rohan, his daughter.
Oh.
She's the mother
Oh.
of one of the characters in this movie. Yeah. When I saw her face, I was like, I know your face. 20 years ago, where have you been, darling?
Doing movies, you just didn't see them.
Yeah, probably because I've been dabbling in horror all for decades. So it was really refreshing to see her face and to see like a cast that is very new, a very fresh, a lot of fresh faces. Loved it. It was kind of like like when you watch movies like Scream or Friday the 13th or something, and it's just like
Yeah.
fresh faces. Nobody that you know, but maybe somebody that you saw in a movie before and they were like supporting cast or anything, but now they have their home as like the actual um, lead. So it was really refreshing in that sense. So pretty much a bunch of drunk teenagers hanging out, got this trinket here that the character Haley says, along with another fan, his name is Joseph. And they go through, they hang out with this party, they're drinking and stuff, and that is the main event of the party. Bring out the hand, boom, you put it on the table, light a candle, and as they say, light a candle to open the door, blow it out to close it. And I was like, yeah, I've heard that before in real life. So I'm like, okay, cool. We diving into some Ouija board shit. So I'm like, okay, cool. I like
Demonic ass shit, bro. I still won't play with one.
when I dive in and I gotta pray after a movie. I love it. That's when I know that I had a good time, money well spent. And the only time that Angie wanted to see this movie was bright ass early. We went matinee 12 o'clock. She was like, "We're not doing it," because I wanted to go see the 9 p.m. show.
Oh no, I actually gotta agree with her.
She was like, 1, it's dark. 2, it's dark. 3, we gotta go to a dark apartment. Like, no, ain't happening. Ain't happening.
I actually second and third that opinion for her.
She's like, I need time to recoup. And it's only about an hour and a half and change. I would say like an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 40, give or take.
Okay.
You know? But it doesn't lag. Sorry, I got an eyelash.
I mean, we have many of them.
But I got one fell. One quit on me. So, all right. So all these teams are in the room, and they bring out a chair and table, the hands on the chair. It's like like a ceramic, almost porcelain hand.
Okay.
And there's writing all over it. And then there's a candle in front. It's not a new candle. You can tell they've been doing this for a while because the candle's melted. And they say, all right, no more than 90 seconds. They're like, why? Because if you stay more than 90 seconds, whatever latched onto you is going to want to stay. And I was like, huh, another familiar sound.
Yeah.
Because as you said, and I'm kind of dumb for doing this, but I've dove into some demonic shit. Not necessarily a follower of that. I'm a Christian. I follow my God. But I've always been interested in, is it real or like tapping into that kind of realm? Don't want to talk about it too much because in the open doors, I don't got candles to blow out. But When you go into that type of room, you have to understand what you're doing and to who may be on that other side is much more powerful than you. So you got to keep your mind sharp.
Yep.
And they will play tricks on you. From experience, they will play fucking tricks on you. So you need to keep your mind sharp and you need to know when to pull it back. So I greatly appreciated when they were putting a time limit to things, they were putting caution to things. There was a child in the room. They were like, "Nah, you too young for this shit. You need to chill out."
Oh, I saw that in the trailer. I didn't know
Yeah.
what they were doing with that, but okay.
Yeah, and they're watching the movie. It's fantastic. You probably won't, but
I
anyway,
actually know. I was actually interested because I've heard a few people in my office tell me about it, and that they've seen it already, and they were like, "Bro, like it's a
it's
good
dope.
freaking movie."
It's dope. It's dope. It may not be scary movie of the year, but it's up there. It's up there. Peter Jackson said that he would watch it twice. Peter
Really
Jackson gave it his applause. So I was just like, that's what's up.
interesting.
And that's not to say that Peter Jackson saw the movie simply because one of his old co-stars, one of his old actresses is in the movie. But all right, I'm gonna put this up real quick for our listeners. This is a spoiler alert because we like to get in deep and dirty and when it comes to rating. And sometimes I can't hold my tongue and I don't want any surprises. So all right, so this lady, character's Maya. Don't mind the ghoul in the corner there. But her
Oh,
name
that's a ghoul. I thought it was a
is
chair.
Ghoul. So what happens is that she lost her mom. And she lost her mom, pretty much killed herself in a sense. She killed herself. So what they're saying is that through this game of grabbing the silicone, the porcelain, I'll say porcelain because it looks more porcelain than anything. You grab the porcelain hand and you say, "Talk to me." You immediately go into a trance and you see whatever it is that you see in front of you. And with the way that they explain it is your your experience is always going to be different. It's never going to be the same for anybody. So whoever you see on the other side of that hand, that's all you. You could explain it if you want to, or you can move forward if you want to. The key is once you see them, the fun of it, which is you ultimately learn that they're using this to get high because your
Oh
body in
God.
trance is, I forgot to put the music in the background. But like your body being in a trance is almost like a high. Is it a little too loud?
Are you?
Oh, we're good. All right. So your body being in a trance is like it's a high. You're not smoking weed at this point. You're not.
There's no need to.
Yeah, you don't need to. What you need is to grab this hand, because once you grab it and you say, "Talk to me," and you see whoever's on the opposite side of that table, then you say, "I let you in." They take over your body, and they can now talk to the living, who are the people in this room.
That
And they can
is.
say anything. They could say how they died. They could say what's going on, why they died. They avenge me by doing this or that, the other, da da da. You got 90 seconds on the clock. You literally have to rip the hand off of this person because the dead don't want to be dead. They got unfinished business. You know, if you go too long, they could linger around and you open some doors that you ain't supposed to be opening. Because you don't have the power, nor do you have the skill set to close that door again. So it's beautiful to see the storyline, the backstory line of Maya and how she is kind of battling with the death of her mom and trying to rebuild a relationship with her dad.
Okay.
So she's a teenager, so she's trying to, win over her friends and she's trying to do all this stuff and she's trying to be
She's spreading herself really thin because she's trying to be like, I want to build this relationship with dad, but I want to be cool with the kids. And,
right.
Exactly. I'm mourning.
She really, as you said, spreading herself thin because she has a hard time being around her dad because he lost his wife. And she was like, yo, he's so depressing to be around. But that's still her dad. So there's a lot of like underlying storylines going on and like the character Maya uses the porcelain hand to then contact her mother because of a couple of situations that happen, and that's how this whole story kicks off. And it's a deep storyline because along the way you find out that it may or may not be her mom because you left some doors wide open and you never closed them. And it's like, uh-oh. You were one supposed to release yourself from it, and two, you're supposed to blow out a candle, and neither of those things happened. And you were latched on for like a good 3 to 5 minutes. It's supposed to be
Oh,
seconds. And they actually, for that situation, they cut it, and they were like, no, 50 seconds, because this is getting deep. We've been doing this for a while. We've been hanging out for hours. And one by one, over and over and over and over and over again, they kept doing it. So it becomes tedious, and it's like, why are you messing with shit that you do not understand how powerful it is? And they learned their lesson real quick. And it's fun to see who has your back in a situation like that, because they did not have each other's back. You could call yourself friends all you want, but when shit hit the fan, that's when you know who real friends are.
that's when, yep.
None of them had each other's back. It was like, oh my God. I would 100% recommend this movie as, if you know any others, cool, but after, like, post-summer horror movies that are, like, right on the money, talk to me. Because I want to see, I went to see Talk to Me. It's worth the money, bro.
I definitely want to go see it. I definitely want to go and check that out because it just sounds interesting. And the more you were talking about it, the more it's like, man, it sounds really deep.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I know that we have, let's see, in September, we have a horror movie coming out, which I can't remember the name of it, but I wanted to see it. But we have Talk to Me that's coming out. Oh, that came out. In October, we have The Exorcist Believer that's coming out.
Yeah, I've been seeing the trailer for that one.
It's
Or
fantastic.
not trailer or art. I think I've seen more art.
Ah,
But it looks interesting. I think it looks interesting of it.
yeah, very, very, very interesting. I'm going on Fandango here for a sec.
Yeah, I was pulling. Actually, I just pulled up the list of movies, horror movies for 2023.
Oh,
You got the
The
Pope's
Nun.
Exorcist.
Yes,
Yeah, the
that came out
Nun, the Nun.
100%. I would recommend The Pope's Exorcist. The Nun
Uh,
Part 2 is coming out in September. I'm going to see that with my mommy. So,
she likes that stuff too, bro.
no, she
Damn.
goes, you think I'm bad? Mom bad. You think
Jeez.
I'm bad? Mom puts on The Nun as her lullaby. When she says I'm bored and I can't go to work, and I don't have to work.
She puts that?
8 o'clock in the morning, she'll throw that on. And she'll text me, be like, what you doing? I'm bored. I'm like, well, I just woke up to go to work. What are you doing? Watching Nun. Cool.
I can't.
There ain't no sweet dreams in our family, baby.
You guys don't even know what sweet dreams sound like.
Nah, shoot.
So Insidious, The Red Door is also coming out this year, or it came out.
No, I don't think it's come out yet. Let's see, Red Door.
Oh, Netflix is dropping Bird Box 2 Barcelona.
I saw that one.
Did it already come out?
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a good change of pace. It's a really good change of pace, actually, from the original Bird Box. Like
I'm interested.
You could see more, and it's more interactive than the first one. It's really cool. It's really cool. I'm looking at Insidious: The Red Door here. I do not see a release. Oh, it did release already.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it did.
July 7th. I didn't even that went under my radar. Okay, I gotta pick up my feet then.
Dude. Sometimes you just gotta look around. Just sitting around your feet.
You know, when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, sometimes I don't believe what the hell they're talking about because I've seen some real good movies and it has like a 30 rating. And
Yeah, but I think they base it off of
bullshit. I was
you're right on that bullshit, but it's sometimes they base it off of like fan interaction. I guess some fans get really bored out of like storyline that they go, oh, it's a
right.
crap storyline. But then like someone like me who watches, I'm like, oh, that's actually a pretty good storyline. So it just depends on who they're,
Yeah.
who are they rating it off of, or what are they rating it off? Is it storyline? Is it the visual effects? Is it
Right. Could be a number of things. We got The Haunting of Venice
Ooh,
is coming out on the 15th. Tina Fey and Michelle Yeoh, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Uh,
really?
yeah, they're both going to be in it. Also, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a couple of those there. I know I'm most anticipated to see The Exorcist Believer. Reason why is because it's a direct sequel from the first one. And there's the first and second one. I
There's
think because
three, I think,
yeah,
of the
but
original Exorcist.
yeah, the original three Exorcists. I'm thinking this is a continuation of those three, or it's just going straight off the storyline from the first one. It's
I
kind of
wouldn't be surprised that they did.
yeah, it's like a continuation of that story, but it's not blocking out the second and third one because the second and third one were a part of it because it
Yeah, I'm
involved
wondering. I'm wondering if it's like it lands like in the middle of it
somewhere,
all.
somewhere. Because I remember watching the trailer and it focuses on the mom from the first one and all the trauma that she went through with her daughter being possessed, and it seems like the demon or the entities that possessed her daughter are back and they're possessing two other small kids.
Oh man.
And the families have to call on her because she has experience with me. Very anticipated to see that. Right after, like when November hits, is when I try to like kind of like kickstart the happy, and I go into all the Christmas.
Ironically, because by like November 1st, I'm already trying to crank some of those off because I'm trying to like rub off some of the other crap I've just seen out of my brain.
Well, that's why I start so early, man, because I had a horror movie list that's creeping into the 200s. And I'm
Jeez.
like, I gotta start early, but I never stopped watching horror movies. So Andrew was like, why don't you just watch horror movie all year? And then
You probably could.
I already do. And that's the funny part, because I
Same
never
one.
picked up
It
on it.
doesn't count if you watch the same one like more than once.
Well, then, all right.
Because
Because
you gotta change it up.
I got my
If you could change it
go-tos.
up.
I got my go-tos. But yeah, I could run down the list because she was just like, you'll have more time because you're talking almost, you could easily cap at 365 days. So what you can do is do, one a day, two a day, whatever your work schedule and, write it F life and shit. And I was like, all right, cool. And then she's like, around November, we start making things happy. And I was like, that's my happiness. Like horror movies is my happiness. And she was like, no, for me.
It's not for you anymore,
I
motherfucker. It's
will
for her.
endure all year, but when November first comes around, I better see nothing but Peanuts and Charlie Brown and fucking Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer claymation and shit on the TV. And I was like, that's fair because we got a deep like 30 when it comes to Christmas. But then in
I'm
the
still
middle
one
of
of those. I'm one
what?
of those weird purists. I'm one of those weird Puerto Ricans that
Huh,
like I don't celebrate Christmas from the get. Like once the Halloween's over, like November comes around, I worry about the turkey. I get to
no,
the jolly fat guy after I eat the turkey. Like from November 27th, because normally right after my birthday, I'll go
right,
ahead and
yeah,
crank.
yeah.
I'll start cranking up the
Well,
Christmas spirit.
we have a rule. It was more argument that turned into a rule because my wife is big on Turkey Day. She's big on Thanksgiving. She likes to decorate and shit. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went and decorated I started decorating. It's a good thing I didn't finish because by the time she came home, but she was like, "What are you doing?" I was decorating for Christmas. on like November, the first weekend in November. And I was like,
I remember that your house was your whole freaking apartment was
decked
like,
out. Always. Museum. It is
yeah.
about to get better because I have more space.
Oh god.
So can't wait till I get my house. You thought the Harry Potter lights was cool? I'm about to have hundreds, bro.
Oh jeez.
And they're remote operated, but they're also battery operated. But I will be on a ladder changing every single one of them batteries
Every day, just making sure all the
every day.
pot.
Every day. Put it on for a few seconds. Everybody like it? Okay, I need to conserve. So be going out there all the time. But yeah, so she was like, "No, take it out because we're going. I'm trying to freaking decorate for fall." I was like, "Decorate for fall? How the fuck do you do that?" And she's like, "I'll show you.
The
Take this shit out."
disrespect.
It was mad disrespectful because I was like, "I'm taking out my stuff. I'm halfway done." And she came with.
Then you guys do like a half and half.
Ain't no half and half. It's Christmas and nothing. Anyway, so the following year,
It's all cream or nothing.
Yeah, right.
No half and half in this bitch.
I waited to the day after Thanksgiving. I had that Friday off and the whole weekend. So I was just like, all right. And she had to go to work. So I was like, all right. I tore down everything. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go. Enough for Turkey Day. It's all sandwiches and bullshit. Whatever. And I started decorating for Christmas. And she's like, what are you doing? She came with another argument. I was like, what? It's over. That's speed
We've
bump.
ate the turkey.
Like, I'm sorry, but there's WrestleMania, and then there's the road to WrestleMania. We done with whatever the fuck what that was, that pay-per-view, that live event.
That's Survivor Series at this
Yeah,
point.
that premium live event or whatever. It was like Balls on Fire or what? You remember? When they were doing all these
Oh god,
weird
Great
ones?
Balls of Fire.
Yeah, WWE Great Balls of Fire. I was like, when you're running out of ideas, but you have all the ideas, this is what you do. And
That sound like a drunken idea. Hey, you know what? You know what pay-per-view would sound great? You know, I'm gonna say
yeah,
Great Balls of fucking Fire. And they were like, yo, let's run with it.
and Vince was like, I love it. It's Vince.
I love it. Now where's my chicken?
I love it. I'm a girl mustache. Give me a woman to fondle. Get my checkbook.
No. No.
So I was like, all right, cool. But I was like, but it's over. She's like, no. The first weekend in December is when you get to decorate. I was like,
Wow.
excuse me?
Even I think that's late.
I was like, no. The 1st of December. Like, we started negotiating like we were in law. Like, it was court. And we were doing a settlement. So
The
the
first
conclusion that I let the Thanksgiving and fall ride until the 1st of December. So if that falls on the weekend prior, it might be a couple of days into November, or it could be 1st of December. I have days off. I'm gonna start decorating. The first thing I'm doing is taking down all these freaking fall decorations. All these browns and yellows and oranges.
Now you got to bring out the white, red, and green.
Yeah, I was like, man, get out of here.
I don't know, man. I got into this whole debate with other people that I don't know. I have to ride. I'll give Halloween its day. I want to give Thanksgiving its day, and then I go into Christmas. I don't know why most Puerto Ricans sit there November 1st, it's Christmas up until Thanksgiving. They give you Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and then it's back to Christmas.
Yeah. They give you 2 days. It's a hiatus. It's like an intermission.
And to be fair, it's really only like a day and a half because halfway into Black Friday, it's already changing.
Black Friday is just buy more Christmas gifts and decorations. So it's
Thank you.
1 day. It's 24 hours, if that. It's like 5 hours because you only care about the dinner, and then Black Friday is right after you're going to shopping.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I hate it. I was like, all right, we're gonna get over this speed bump. Let me go do the real shit. But man, yeah. So anyway, segue from that. The rest of the year is looking, and going into October is looking real promising for a lot of horror movies. I love that I kickstarted it. If you want to say technicalities, I kickstarted it with the Pope's Exorcist, but I would like to say post summer. Talk to Me was it. Very fun ride. I would say I give it probably like 80-90% when it comes to how it could scare you and the creativity behind it, and just how the characters kind of ping off each other, and like the overall. It's not a fresh idea, but it's a fresh take on an old idea. If that makes sense.
Okay. No, it
Yeah,
makes sense. It makes a lot of
it's
sense. They
it's really cool.
everything gets recycled, so it's good to have a better
Exactly.
taste on it.
Exactly, and I loved it. I loved what they did with this movie. It was a real good time. I was not disappointed whatsoever. It does have its flaws in the sense that you kind of get lost in the storyline of what's real and what's not, and it kind of interferes with the storyline. But I think that's on purpose.
It's not,
Totally.
it from what I can hear of how the movie kind of bounces a little bit. I
Hmm.
think it's on purpose,
Right,
to kind of give you that illusion. A lot of the movie is about that illusion that you're getting.
right, right. And it was a fun time. It was a fun time, man. But did you see the trailer of it? Do you have any words for it before we sign off?
Honestly, I have seen the trailer of it. I've seen a few of the cuts. It caught my eye. It's one of the rare horror movies. I was like, they had me thinking. But um, I mean, if you definitely love it, it's hard to say. I know you're biased because you love a lot of horror movies, but I know you
Very good.
when you can invest into this and say, because we've had this conversation. It's different from having a horror movie and then a jump scare movie. And this,
Yeah,
from the
I hate
sounds of it,
jump
it
scare
sounds like a
movies.
horror
I've
movie.
expressed that before. I hate jump scare movies. That's why I don't like going to horror nights.
Fair. I'm
Because
gonna go
it's
this
just
year.
I'm paying almost like more than $100, almost $100 for to indulge in what I don't like, which is a bunch of jump scare.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And I'm like, it's like I don't get to savor your makeup. I don't get to savor the decoration and the creativity behind the haunted houses. So I hate to go because it's dark as shit in there. Half the time you can't see. There's a
Yeah.
million people, and it's just jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. I'm like, I don't want to spend my money on that. So I rather make my own Halloween Horror Nights at home. That
Yeah, makes sense.
makes sense. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have seen Talk to Me, let us know how you feel about it down in the comment section. We started off a little different today, but we're gonna say like and subscribe to our channel, and also follow us on X at rated F2, and then we also have the IG, which is at the rated underscore F. Also for our listening crew, I'm very excited for listening correctly. We are on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify Podcasts, we're on Amazon Music, we're on iHeartRadio, and always give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear, and let us know if you have any criticism for what we're talking about and things to kind of make us better. The aesthetics of things, especially on YouTube. If you say you could do this better, you could do that better. Work with the camera a little bit, this and the other. We always take that in because as Felix had told me earlier today, we're going on 4 years of doing this thing.
Yeah.
It seems like we really ramped up in the last like 6 months to a year. And really
Yeah, definitely.
taking
Definitely
it
has
seriously.
felt that way.
Yeah, it was like we were taking it seriously, and it was fun. It was like something like new that we were doing, but we're really trying to make this something. And when we put our heads to it and we really put our foot to the ground, like in the small amount of time that we've been, pursuing it business wise, we've seen an amazing amount of growth.
Yep.
And,
The
you know,
last like 3-4 months, we've definitely have grown tremendously. So thank
oh,
you
yeah.
guys. We wouldn't be here for 4 years if it wasn't for the people who've listened and all the newcomers that are coming in.
Yeah, we have like our loyal listeners, we're pretty much our parents. And, like, and then, we have all the newcomers that like what they hear and they like what you see. So we appreciate you guys wholeheartedly, and we would definitely want to ask you, what do you want us to talk about? A lot of times we're on the background and we're thinking of topics and we're doing this and that and the other, and we may change it up last minute like we did today. And the entire aesthetics of what we did and the entire look of how we were going to run the show today changed 5 minutes
Literally, like
ago.
maybe like 10 minutes before the show started.
Yeah, and real Vince McMahon shit. So, we'd love to hear the topics flowing in because we will deliver. That's a no brainer. We will deliver, man. So, thank you guys for the support, and we're on the road to 100. Some people
Almost
might
there.
some people might call that small. They might call it baby shit, but for us, that's big. because I don't have 100 friends.
You're
So definitely
right,
people
though.
are listening to what we have to say. And I'm very grateful that you take your time out of your day to listen to us and to party with us and listen to us ramble and talk bullshit and have a good time.
That is true. I love it.
So you got anything else to say, my friend?
My friend, we are good.
Good, good. Me too. Definitely, again, rest in peace to the late Wyndham Rotunda Bray Wyatt. I hope you guys had a great time today, and we will see you on the next show.
See you on the next show, guys.
Wow, wow.